Hello friends, today we're in Yekaterinburg, and guess what? It's a lot colder than it is in Moscow. And as always, we have 2 days, 1 camera crew, and $100 to show you everything that our Facebook followers recommended that we do, see, taste, and experience here in Yekaterinburg. But when you only got $100 to spend, our first experience, that's gonna be the bus. So let's get on the bus, and let's get going. Moscow has become too technocratic. I was delighted to see that this bus route keeps it old school and still has controlori, or controller women on them, to come around and physically take your money and give you a ticket. So nostalgic. Yekaterinburg, a tough city for a tough lot in the Ural region. They say this place makes a man out of you. People always ask me, what do Russians do during the long winters? And I answer that they do exactly the same things as in summer. And despite the -10 Celsius autumn weather, yes, autumn weather, the streets were abuzz with people going about their day on the massively wide streets under the massively thick buildings that Russia is known for. But because this is Yekaterinburg, the street musicians all had electric guitars and not stupid flutes or whatever they like in Moscow. Guys, I thought we'd start our adventure in Yekaterinburg from the spot where we can see absolutely everything in the city, on top of Russia's tallest tower outside of Moscow, named after its famous gravel-voiced bard, Vladimir Vysotsky. And the view is amazing. The only problem is the wind. Oh my gosh, is it windy up here? Wow! If any of you are interested to hear Mr. Vysotsky's music, then just throw his name into a YouTube search. There's actually a museum dedicated to him somewhere in this tower, if you are hardcore into Soviet bardic traditions. But anyways, let's get out of the cold and see the city. People told me that Yekaterinburg is one of the most compact and dense cities in Russia, but as you look around, there seems to be a lot of space. I expected to feel like I was in Guangzhou or something, but nope. All I see is good old spread out Russia, spread out like the American Midwest where I'm from, but with Lenin statues. This is the Cathedral on the Blood, and it marks the very spot where the Tsar and his family were executed in 1918. Of course, this is not the most cheery monument that there is in Russia, but it's very important and important to the local people and people, well, nationwide. And if you're interested, there's a museum right over there dedicated to the Tsar's family and the Tsars, and you can go over and take a look with just a couple steps. Definitely at the top of the list of overall recommendations that we got for Yekaterinburg was to visit Russia's most controversial museum, the Yeltsin Center. Now, why is it controversial? Because they try to paint a picture of the 90s as being a rockin' awesome time for everyone. And well, for me and a lot of people in Russia, that view of history is kind of a hard sell. But let's be open-minded, let's take a look. Maybe I'm wrong. All my friends and colleagues say that Yeltsin really turned Russia into a ruckus marketplace. So I guess it makes sense that there's some kind of craft fair going on down there, which is apropos. But oh my gosh, there's a bunny petting zoo, a bunny petting zoo. Guys, I'll be back in 15. Give me 15. Okay, hold on. The Yeltsin Center was organized around the most significant days of Boris Yeltsin's reign. And to be honest, it seemed more like a museum of the 90s than one dedicated to the man himself. There were lots of old nostalgic things like Sega Mega Drives, Rambo posters, old VCRs, and all the things that came with the end of communism. Some very self-confident Moscow celebrities on screens repeated for guests lots of classically liberal positions that they themselves probably neither understand nor actually practice. But then again, the 90s were naively optimistic, so maybe this is fitting. However, literally millions of people either died or had their lives destroyed by the changes in the 1990s. The horrible suffering has been omitted. And so we're ending our tour of the Yeltsin Center in a simulation of Boris Yeltsin's office, which is pretty cool. And I've got to say that Yeltsin is famous for saying on the day of his retirement these words, "Я ухожу, я устал." I'm leaving, I'm tired. Well, I'm leaving, I'm not very tired, but what I am is hungry. Let's get some grub, but guys. What to eat? Where to eat? Ah, of course, I'm in the Urals. We should get what they say is Boris Yeltsin's favorite treat and the favorite local treat. Pelmeni, of course. And you know what? Meat and dough is always a pleasure and a treasure. Yes, Uralskie or Ural pelmeni are the most famous kind. Something about them thar hills and the frigid weather makes for good dumplings. I guess it's because they flash freeze when you put them out on your balcony.
Good afternoon.
Oh,
My
good.
name is Ivan, and today I'll be your waiter.
Wow, I wasn't expecting English. English menu, English waiter. Но мы в России, поэтому на русском. Дайте, пожалуйста, конечно, уральские пельмени с бульоном и на десертик вареники с вишней.
Хорошо. В течение 12 минут ваш заказ будет
Oh.
готов.
You know, in Russia, some people say real men eat soup. Others say real men eat pelmeni. I do both. And I'm right for doing both. Wonderful. Oh, what's this? Oh, there's gonna be some MMA fights tonight. That's the stuff. But the thing is, I'm not looking too good. My beard's all out of whack. My hair's all frizzy and stuff. I gotta do something about my image, because if I'm gonna go to an MMA fight, I wanna look like a real man from the Ural Mountains. I feel so much better. Спасибо огромное. Oh, отлично. And now, I'm ready to go to the MMA, because I'll look like one of the guys from the Ural Mountains. Do it. Woohoo! Let's do it. Yeah. I was really pleasantly surprised by the venue for the fights. Firstly, it was 75% full. And secondly, it was very nice with a gorgeous setup with lights and an entrance ramp. Usually Russia's not so great with showmanship, but these guys really put on an amazing event. For the price, I would recommend it to anyone who likes regulated violence. And on a side note, every girl who was there was dressed and looked like a supermodel. Too bad they were all with their boyfriends who looked like MMA fighters. Oh, well, that was thrilling. But now it is getting very dark and it is time for some sleep. I was offered the chance to rent a Russian hut on the 16th floor of an apartment building. I wonder what that could be. Wow. So this is the Russian hut. And it is greatest Russian teapot ever with Russian design. And what else do we have here? Oh, a real samovar. That means we could light a fire in the apartment, which is fun. Or, oh, speaking of fire, hey, look at this lovely fireplace. Oh, it's probably the only fireplace I'll ever be able to afford. Oh, and a balalaika above the bed. How could we have Russian stereotypes without the balalaika? You know, it's really interesting to see what Russians think Russia's about. It's very different from what I think. But anyways, guys, we've had a fun day. I think it's time to hit the shower and then hit the bed. Oh, well, you know, guys, while I'm asleep, I'd really appreciate it if you take some time to like, share, and comment this video, or especially hit the subscribe button. And guess what? If you comment on YouTube, I answer all the comments. So now's your chance to praise me or horribly insult me. Your choice. Anyways, до завтра. Good morning! We have traveled just outside of Yekaterinburg to Verkhnyaya Peshma, to one of Russia's largest museums of military technology. You know, they say their collection started with just the artillery cannons that flank this monument, and just kind of grew on its own. Gosh, I'd love to have a collection of tanks or gold coins that would just grow on its own, but alas, I don't. But anyways, let's go touch some tanks. Many people in Moscow are obsessed with the evolution of computer technology and worship Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and so on. But I find the evolution of arms far more fascinating. If you look around, you can see all the different ideas from different eras of war that tried to meet different needs. The height of human creativity for destruction on parade. Well, if you like military history at all, you will love this place for sure.
Oh, there's nothing inside it. Now, this little boat has a very unique history. It participated in the Battle of Stalingrad and was sunk. Yeah, sunk. That someone during the Soviet Union somehow drug it out of the water, restored it, and turned it into a tour boat for kids. Then, just a couple years ago, the museum found this thing with just a few days left before it was to be melted down for scrap metal. So somehow this Stalingrad veteran survived all that and is still with us today.
There's not only Russian metal in the museum, I saw some more familiar American vehicles with their white stars mixed in. So this is actually an international collection.
Well, if you happen to come here in winter, don't worry, because there's a fantastic, lovely exposition hall with a lot of things to see where it's very nice and very warm. So luckily for us and luckily for you, right next to the Museum of Military Technology, we have this lovely museum of the Soviet auto industry. Well, of course, there's a couple foreign cars here too, but it's pretty much the automotive world until 1991 in Russia. And boy, things are a lot more colorful than I imagined. Look at all the lovely colors.
My father once told me that all the cars in the USSR were black. No. But if you look at this teal car behind me, it is actually considered the first crossover vehicle in the world. Russians have invented many things first, but failed to capitalize on them. This is the perfect example, as Russians buy foreign crossover vehicles like hotcakes and have no idea that the idea of lifting up a normal car and throwing on some four-wheel drive was thought up here first.
Not only is this just a cool collection of cars, but in theory, they all actually will work and they will start. So let's do it. Will it? Yeah!
Thanks to my D-list celebrity status, I was able to arrange something extra special just for you guys.
A real 234 tank, I can't believe it. All right, time to go to Berlin. Look over here, you can see a lot of Russian recycling. That's all copper being recycled. I gotta hold on to the cameraman here. All right. Woo, we did it. We didn't fall off. Well, the cameraman's still alive and I'm still alive. That was an amazing experience. Oh, that's loud, it's stinky, and it's aggressive, and it's a tank. Yes. Chartashkia stone tents, as they're called, which are rock formations that have been chiseled away by thousands of years of wind to give this kind of cool shape. And speaking of chiseled away, as you can see right there, there's a pre-Christian sacrificial altar. Hopefully it was only for animals, and hopefully I'm not next. We're deep in the Urals. We've been riding on tanks, eating plenty of pelmeni. This is the Yekaterinburg experience, baby. I'm finally becoming a real man. Well, that's all from Yekaterinburg, a real rock and roll tough man's town. And do I feel tough and do I feel rock and roll? You better darn believe it, and even more so than usual. But anyways, guys, as is great Russian tradition, we have to bring gifts back with us. When I told the barber I had no idea where to get a beard pick in Moscow, he gave me his. He says it costs 9 rubles. And we have this lovely stone bear, because this region is known for its colorful stones, and of course, bear is a great Russian animal. And yeah, that's all. Oh, how could I forget? Guys, subscribe and especially share. Share this video with your friends so they watch it. It really helps us out. And you know what? Before I get in the airplane, I gotta get more of those pelmeni. Gotta. Oh, they're so good. Oh.